Okay. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's get it. This is I originally was going to have you submit them and then stand by your man, in a sense, right? But I think you're going to need them because I'm going to have you reference all these things on the board and that kind of stuff. Okay, so hang on to it, and then on your way out, we'll turn this in. Okay, let's do this first. Let's determine which of the 3 leadership qualities of our presidents that you felt were most important. Okay, out of 10. So I'm going to do a quick, just a hand. So how many times are you going to vote?
3.
Thank you. We'll vote 3 times. Okay. So I'm just going to do. Okay. Can you? One of the 2 of you. Oh, you're on that side. Can you sit right here? And you count this side. It'll go faster. Okay. Include yourself in it. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Public persuasion was one of your 3. Public persuasion was one of your 3. I got 4.
I got 1.
Okay.
That's 5. Don't die, Jerry.
Crisis leadership. Crisis leadership.
I got 8.
I got 10.
Dang.
Economic management.
7.
4.
7.
11. Thank you. Moral authority. Moral authority. 5.
9.
International relations. 5.
5.
You're including yourself, right?
Yep.
Administrative skills. Administrative skills.
1.
4. Relations with Congress. Relations with Congress. 9. You got 9 too?
Yep.
Vision / setting the agenda.
3.
This is like the New Deal and the Man on the Moon to the end of the decade, and et cetera. 3. 4. Equal pursuit, equal justice for all. Pursuit, equal justice for all.
5.
4.
Yeah.
Context. Performance within the context of times.
3.
Performance within the context of times.
3.
3. It's like 6. Thank you, Nick.
Yep. Is that thing on? Wow, that makes sense.
Actually, it is on, yeah. Why is that scary?
I was sitting.
Cameras watch it all day long.
Okay. Okay, so now, if you take a look at your conclusions about what maybe we / you have said, we're going to go, these 2 is obviously number 1s, right? And then number 3 being moral authority. Let's go top 5. And then economic and international relations. And then it's I was going to say a big drop off to equal justice, right? Okay.
No, I meant
All good things come good after
Australia.
so we had a good start going. Box.
I'll just hide behind it. We just finished, didn't we? We just perfectly tabulated.
Looks good.
What's yours? Quick. What were your top 3? Most important ones.
1 was crisis leadership. 2 was administration skills. 3 was vision.
So administrative skills did not change us, and vision did not change us. Okay. So crisis would have just bumped. Crisis to win. It would have won. Okay. When you saw a crisis. Where are the 18 people in the room? 19 people in the room that had crisis. You had it. It's one of your top 3. I'm just going to point to you. You tell me in your mind what crisis comes to your mind when you say they managed this and that was big. Davis, or didn't for that matter. Davis.
Civil War.
Okay.
Lincoln.
Thank you. Well, you didn't have to get the president, but you can if you want. That's fine. Actually, the president's fine.
I was gonna say on the did side, James Buchanan started this.
Okay.
Yep.
I'd say Civil War, Abe Lincoln.
Okay.
Starting the country.
Washington, the beginning of the country. Okay, that's it. Okay.
Great Depression.
Great Depression. So it was FDR.
Huge year, 9/11 with George W. Bush.
George W. with 9/11.
Wilderness Management, Theodore Roosevelt.
WW2.
Say it again.
World War II.
We're WW2. Okay. With who?
With FDR.
Okay. Because some would say maybe Truman came in as the bottom of the ninth guy, dropped the bomb. Yep.
Civil War, Abe Lincoln.
Okay. All right. Quick backstory on. Quick backstory on Darian's comment about Teddy Roosevelt. Somebody brought it up today. I can't remember who it was. We were talking about it. Teddy Roosevelt, mother died, wife died in the process of giving birth, same day. Same day. Okay? Because of it, he gave his child, I think it was only one child at that time, maybe it was more, to his sister and said, I got to go clear my head or whatever. And he went west. Okay? Became this real, killing everything and all that kind of stuff. And one of the places he went to was North Dakota. Well, here's why the woo comes in, all right? Because he, at one point in time when he became president, said, I would not have been president if not for North Dakota, meaning that made me who I was, kind of a thing. So University of North Dakota is trying to figure out what to call themselves, because they used to be, remember the other day our conversation, the Fighting Sioux. One of their choices is the Rough Riders, which is the Tiger Roosevelt. Well, you could have called himself the Teddies or whatever, right? But there's a potential there for a little bit of misunderstanding. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. The zombies. Right. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. That's crisis management. Quickly, relations with Congress. If that was one of yours, really quick. Go. Oh, who's your president? Which guy?
Whatever his name is.
George Washington.
An easy one to forget. Yeah, easy one, yes. Lincoln.
Oh, Lyndon B. Johnson.
LBJ. Who was your president that you attached to relations with Congress?
Oh, I didn't have a specific one. I just thought that was most important.
Okay, which it can be. That's perfectly fine.
FDR was on the list, but I don't think you should really be there.
Okay, we'll get to that later. Yes.
I would say with Darian, I don't have a president.
Okay.
They were Darian. I just thought it was important.
Which it can be. It's critical. Yes. Who was number one in this?
FDR.
Yeah. But Lincoln was really close to the top, wasn't he? As was LBJ. All right. Okay. Yes. Is there somebody else over here that has something to say? Yes. No.
Just the same as everyone.
Okay. All right. This is going to be a tough one, but I'm just going to listen. You didn't do the worst ones, the ones that didn't matter, did you? Right? In other words, we don't have a least important list of these. You didn't generate one, which is fine. That was okay. But as you look at this, if you were to pick out one of these and say, no impact on my choice, doesn't matter, isn't necessary, on the count of 3, I want you to say it, you don't have to yell it, and I'm going to try and figure out what was the most popular. 1, 2, 3.
Visualization.
Didn't work. I heard a lot of visions, actually. That was the one that stood out, but it might have just been the tone of voice or whatever. And that's perfectly fine. Now, when the historians, if you did the reading, when the historians did this, did they weight certain categories more than others? No, they did not. They did not. They just were each in the category. They were each given a rating based upon each category, and then it's tabulated up to be totaling. Okay, that's how they got to that. And obviously, we know that the ranking 2009 and 2000 Lincoln is still dominating. Well, I wouldn't say dominating, but he's solid. Okay, so that's this, which is important. I mean, does it say anything about you? Would we? Okay, how about this question? Would we, 50 years ago, sit in the same room, same question, same conversation in that time period, would we have listed the same thing?
No.
Wow. What would you have said then? Well, how 50 years ago, what would be different? Crisis leadership wouldn't matter as much? So in other words, what's caused you to interpret 50 years into the future differently? 9/11? So the crisis becomes more important. Though nobody said that besides Ben. You all picked the other presidents that were towards the top. Where did George W. finish in crisis leadership? Do you remember?
3.
That was his top one, wasn't it? For his personal presidency.
He didn't make it in the top 3 for crisis leadership.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Yeah, I did.
In 2009?
No, George Washington was on it.
Yeah. It was
Okay.
Abe, FDR.
So then the question remains.
Oh, I thought he was not.
The question remains, if in fact we're different 50 years later, are you accurately choosing what would be the best qualifications for our president when you're children? 12, well, some of you won't have a child 12 years. Well, yeah, some of you will. Yeah, you'll have a child 12 years from now.
Majority of them.
Okay, here's the deal. If you don't have a child by 30, that means you say, "Oh, I'm gonna wait until 35." Good luck. You're gonna be old chasing them around at the back end. You know what I'm saying? Other people say, "No, I want to have a great life before I have children." Not to say your life with children is bad, but you're gonna enjoy childless life. Well, that's one argument. But the other argument is, you have your children relatively early, and then, like in my situation, both of us will be 50 as of Sunday anyway. Both of us will be 50, and our kids are long gone. It's awesome. I mean, you know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying? So my point being, when your children are here, will we be different? Will we change? Will this ever change?
No.
I don't think so. I think we're probably in a day and age that will forever have a crisis around the next corner. We just don't know what it is and if we're ready or not. Probably. Okay. I'm going to erase these. Here we go. Now it's only one. Oh, I've been using it in 3 years. Okay.
What is it?
I don't know what it is.
It's a mobile, now broken chalkboard. I just use it to charge my red light, and it doesn't work out. Okay. Best of 1600. Here we go. Sam's going to say hers, and if you're the same as Sam, we're going to add them up. If you want to stay in the back, you can, if that's an important thing to you. He'll stop watching by now anyway, probably. Okay, you ready? Sam, who is it? Your best. Lincoln? Whoa. Who's? Oh my goodness.
I want to change my answer.
11.
So we're counting Sam's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. What'd you have?
11.
Okay, so much for debate. Colin?
Jefferson.
That's 1.
This was
You got one over there
for the
too?
record, it was.
You two are.
There is no.
You came to separate conclusions?
Yeah, we did.
We did, yeah.
Oh man.
Jacob?
I want to change mine to Coolidge. So
You can't. No, Jacob, come on. Are you done? 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 Okay, let's do it this way. FDR? Oh, okay.
2.
This is gonna be fun.
FDR, total
5.
5. Okay.
That's how much she
Okay, let me do it this way. Let me do it this way. Everybody done in this row? This row. Everybody done in this row? Come on. Done? Everybody in this row. Who? Washington? 2 Washingtons. Any Washingtons? Yo, any Washingtons over here?
No.
Okay. Washington.
And back.
Oh, it's bad.
Okay. This side of the room is done.
Yeah.
Okay. This row, are you done?
Nope.
No.
I think George said we motion.
Okay. Any other George W. Bush fans?
You just did that tonight.
Okay, hold on. Come on, hang with me. It's going to get good here in a second. Anybody else in this row? Anybody in this row not represented? Anyone in this row not? Oh, two of you. Go.
Theodore Roosevelt.
Ready? I'm going to put TR. Is that okay?
Yeah.
What's that? Ike.
Yeah.
Ike.
Aye.
Obama.
Obama. Yeah. Thanks, Obama.
All right. Okay. Yep. We're going to do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we'll do it. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Let's start on the other side of the room this time. In the back corner. Yep, we're doing it again. Michael, your worst of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
LBJ.
Oh.
Oh.
Why?
Don't agree with what he did.
He's 11th, according to historians.
Yeah.
Oh, just
You
wait.
upstream swimmer, you.
Number 3.
Who's with him on LBJ? Okay. Okay, quickly. Let's do this really quick. Really quick.
FDR.
Number 3.
Who's a follower? Oh, we got other FDRs.
Oh, I have
1, 2, 3, so that's 4 total.
I agree.
Okay. Man. Say. James Buchanan. Okay. 7, 8 on my side. 1. Okay. Yeah, obviously you include yourself, right?
Yep.
Where did I leave off? This row. Go right this row, Seth. You're good? Who else in this row is unrepresented? Anyone in this row unrepresented? By the worst. Okay, we'll come down this row. Anybody unrepresented? Shane, and then Hope.
Andrew Johnson.
Andrew Johnson.
Both of you? Okay. So there, how many Andrew Johnsons in the room? 3, 4 total. Okay. Okay. Anybody else in this row? Alexis, are you represented?
Yeah, I represent.
Okay. Darian. Good.
Clinton.
Clinton. Any other Clintons in the room? Okay. Maddie? Hoover. Any other Hoovers in the room? Hey, gang, please just hang with me, okay? Any other Hoovers in the room? Okay? Ben, are you represented?
Yeah.
Matt?
Yeah.
Anybody in this row need to be represented on the wall? Please. This is so much better if you just pay attention, okay? I know it's incredibly stimulating, but
I actually like this.
are you good?
I'm great.
Anybody in this row? So everybody in the room is represented on the wall,
Yes.
on both sides,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
All right. There are some interesting dilemmas posed by. Let me just ask you this: did I hear you say that you chose Lincoln and you hadn't even looked at their ratings? Okay. What is it about Lincoln that is it just the aura of Lincoln? Or I mean, seriously, just give me a quick comment, and if you agree with the comment says, go Knuckles. Okay? Yes.
Slavery, end of it.
Okay. Nothing against them. Nothing against Lincoln. But let me ask you a quick question. When he freed the slaves and is known as the Great Emancipator, he only freed the slaves where? In the rebellion states. He didn't free the slaves in the Union. He didn't feel he had the power to do that.
But he went for it.
But he did. Agreed. And if you, how many have seen the movie Lincoln?
No.
Okay, if you've seen the movie Lincoln, it's very much about
What about Vampire Hunter?
not that Lincoln. Hey gang, it's very much about the 13th Amendment, which is the amendment that ended slavery. Right, Jared?
Sorry.
Yes. Okay. So that's other Lincoln besides slavery. Anything else on Lincoln? Yes.
We kept the Union strong. When they decided to run away, he was like, no, you get back here, Southerners. And they were like, oh, fine.
Not a direct quote. I get your drift. Yes. Okay. Davis.
I think the Lincoln is made better just because Buchanan was so bad.
Yeah.
He's got a sandwich there, doesn't he? Because Andrew Johnson's awful after him and Buchanan awful before him. And pay attention so you can actually be on cue. Ready?
Yeah.
Tell us about Buchanan that you told me yesterday.
Oh, yeah. So Buchanan, apparently I found on this website, so like he got in this dispute with his fiance and it led to her suicide.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And that was right before he became president or in the
Yeah, it was
neighborhood?
right
Well, he'd
before.
been cheating with
Yeah.
her
And
before,
it
but
said
when
on the
they
web, on like a website about Buchanan that he like convinced a northern person to vote to like benefit the South so that the South didn't get upset.
Great stories. These are great stories. Great stories. So stay with Lincoln though. Okay, we'll come back to the Buchanan, my guess is. Other Lincoln, really quick comments on Lincoln?
I think part of the reason like people liked him before they read about him is because that was one of the presidents we always learned about when we were little.
Yeah.
Like because we always
He's kind of mythic almost.
Yeah.
Heroic. Yeah.
He was used to
And the question is, why have we only learned about one? Because it's around President's Day, right? Probably. That's the, Lincoln's birthday. Okay. He was very compelling. Yeah, lots of Lincoln quotes out there. Very good. Excellent. Okay, my two Jefferson guys, give me quick comments, really quick on Jefferson.
He ended the slave trade. He outlawed that entirely in the U.S. He repealed excise taxes, reduced the size of the military, founded West Point, repealed harsh naturalization laws, decided Marbury versus Madison, stuff like that.
Okay. Okay, great. Powerful. All during his time period, some of which he can take credit for, some of which.
Okay, he's very influential in the beginning of our country, and I liked his small government policies.
Oh.
Yeah.
And neither of you said what a lot of people would say. 2 words. Yes, Louisiana Purchase.
Put
us into
He also dealt with the entire world of Tripoli.
Okay. Who's anti-Jefferson in the room that wants to give a brief statement?
Anti-Jefferson, but he's plunged us into debt. We were already in debt, and then we got more debt. What
Seems a little anti to me. All right, we're talking about Jefferson, you realize, right, Jared?
Yeah.
Okay, now we're talking FDR. You were just getting warmed up. Okay. Where are my FDR positives? Hit me. Easy, no stuff. Dylan, go.
World War II and the Depression.
Bam. Who else? Was it no knocks on that? He's the only one? Okay. Other FDR people in the room? Yes.
He decreased unemployment from 25% to 2%.
Okay.
Established social security.
Okay, good. Those are both excellent. And I'm going to move. Other FDRs. Positives on FDR. Excellent. It appears as though no one's against the FDR comments. All right, we'll give you your platform. Go ahead.
Yep,
Yeah.
Colin, you got it.
Okay. Oh, we have double haters.
Colin
Okay.
is very
All right.
Quickly.
Well, he suspended habeas corpus and imprisoned hundreds of thousands of Americans for absolutely no reason.
Well, stop for a second. 120,000. Just so let's clarify. We got to be good consumers of information. 120,000 Japanese Americans, of which when he did, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, and though I'm defending you FDR people, I'm helping you out. Of which, who else said yes, it was okay? Supreme Court did.
But does that make it okay? No.
People answer questions for me. That's all the time.
His multiple attempts to stack the Supreme Court. He tried to cap yearly earnings for all Americans,
Okay.
$25,000.
Okay.
He had over 3,000 executive orders.
Okay.
He was warmongering.
3,000?
Over
Yeah.
3,000.
Wow, I didn't realize that many.
We can't afford gold anymore.
Okay.
He
Hey,
is,
quick question. How would FDR do in 2015? That's a lot of, when I look at stuff like this, I always wonder, the climate of America, politics, how we are begging for entertain me, kind of people. If Lincoln stood up in front of people, or if Calvin Coolidge, if you ever seen Calvin Coolidge, he was one of the first guys ever to give a speech on camera. It's just like, whoa. Just because he was so blah and boring and just looking down. You wonder if any of them, if they had other skills, but they didn't have what we require of our candidates now to be very public persuasive and everything else, which some of you put as one of your high ones. So that's just a thought. I don't know how FDR would do in today's climate and all. I mean, that's hard to really even measure, but it's intriguing. Okay, thank you, FDR haters. I know yours. It was compelling, but we got to move on. Washington, why? Quick.
Okay, he was unanimously chosen as president, which shows that obviously his leadership skills throughout the states was known. Also, he limited his foreign affairs kind of deals because they just came out of the revolution. He knew if he did too much, it would cause issues.
Okay.
And he didn't like partisanship.
Okay. Well, dovetailing into two things when he walked away from the office. He said, 2 things, America, don't do this. 2 things. 1, don't get entangled in foreign affairs. And 2, be careful of what political parties can do to this country. That's what he said as 2 big warnings to America. Well, is this kind of prophetic or not, or whatever? It's kind of intriguing. Yeah. Okay, Levi, go quick.
How many people chose
Hobie.
Washington?
How many what?
How many people said unanimously chose no?
The entire Electoral College. Which, was 26. Well, no, it would be more than 26. It would be 13 states and their electoral votes. Oh, you're trying to make a point there?
There's only 26.
Yeah.
So there's all of them.
And who ran against it? No. Okay. Okay. George W. Bush. Quick.
I picked crisis leadership, public persuasion, and performance within the context of the times.
Hey, come on, please.
As my standards in which to hold George to. He led us through 9/11, in my opinion, the scariest time in America since the Cold War, except something actually happened. Then he was a public persuasion expert. He got us to fight people who hadn't necessarily done anything to us. He's actually quoted saying, "My biggest job in office is linking the Iraq War to the war on terror." And so if you're that good, I think you're a good leader.
Okay.
Then
that was weapons of mass destruction kind of stuff,
yes.
Right?
Okay. And performance within the context of the times. He has the highest presidential rating ever. Period.
Yeah.
You can't argue.
Gallup poll post 9/11 for a period of a couple weeks. He was 90+% of Americans approved of his performance.
And
yeah. Okay. Any George W. Bush dislikers that want to express opinion? Anti-George W.
They're gone.
They're gone.
Wasn't one person would say that was only 1 year of his whole 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
Was the 9/11?
Yes. Yeah, a valid argument.
That's what they would argue.
Potentially, yeah, that's a valid argument. But you could say that a lot of presidents that they're known for a one event, negative or positive, that they're attached to, that they stand out for because it was that brief window of time. That could be too. Yeah.
Maybe it's just me, but I don't believe that being a master manipulator means you're a good president, and it certainly doesn't mean you're a good man.
Shots fired. So, a master manipulator as a label of George W. Bush, I assume, is not a positive quality, is what you're saying. Would you say that presidents in general have to have a bit of that skill regardless?
Yes, but I think George W. Bush took advantage of it
You
for
think
his
so?
own gain.
Yeah. Which is, if you watch Bush speeches, he's not a gripping, really just, wow, he's got me. I'll do wherever, go wherever, spend whatever. He's not that way, but yet, with Congress, and he had a majority in Congress, which helped for part of the time he was there. So it's kind of Obama first 2 years like to do that kind of thing. So that oftentimes could be, within the party and everything else. Yeah. And taking advantage of 90% popularity. Let's take this baby out for a spin and see what we can get. That's in essence what happens. So it's kind of intriguing. Okay, great. Thank you. TR, any anti-TR people? Okay, your biggest was wilderness, right? You love the environment?
Yeah, okay, well, he did so much stuff. That's who I would have chosen, but I already filled in FDR, so I was interested. Because I didn't have an eraser.
I was the one who picked
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Yeah, like the story. Yeah, reading, I like dissolve monopolies.
Okay. Trustbuster.
No. I was the one who picked Theodore Roosevelt as my number 1.
I'm sorry. There was a crisis and it was TR that you chose, right? I'm sorry. Why is your TR? I'm sorry.
I really like parks.
You really like parks.
No, and also because he had the square deal, which limited like the way major corporations could take advantage, and he handled everything from segregation of Japanese students to creating legislation for women and children's labor rights, and he also negotiated the end of the Russo-Japanese War, for which he won the Nobel Peace Prize.
He did. Yeah, that's pretty good stuff. And he's the one president who one of his greatest regrets when he left office was that there wasn't a war while he was president. He says, one of my greatest regrets is I wish there would have been a war. Which is a bit of an odd, you know, that, though he fought in one, Spanish American as the Rough Riders, yeah.
No, I like Teddy Roosevelt. I didn't put him as my number one, but I really liked him because he made the United States a world power, as in militaristically. He increased our Navy a huge amount, and I think that's the best you can do as president.
Well, is the Eisenhower fan here? No, hearing nothing.
I like Ike.
No, yeah, I like Ike. Yeah. Did you have a comment on Ike?
No, it was on TR.
More?
Oh, that's big.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah,
Sure.
outsourced.
Okay. Okay, so an interesting combination, but only one. I'm looking at only one from this century. Oh no, FDR from 1930. Well, I guess this century would be the 2000s. I'm thinking all the way back, including the 1900s. So yeah, not too many modern day ones, and even our list doesn't include that many. What we would call recent, presidents. We're going all the way back. So it maybe begs the question: does a president? Look at this. Here's a classic example. Explain this to me. Bill Clinton, in 2000,